Hi, my name is Steven Fernandez. I am currently the founder and chairman president of Parents United for Responsible Education Texas, and I'm also a parent advocate. What I'm doing this video is about compulsory attendance in the state of Texas and basically what parents can do to help them in situations where they're called upon to the courts to answer to failure for school attendance or parents contributing to non-attendance. Now, I've been at this for quite a while with a particular independent school district here in Texas. I'm not going to name the name of that district because the fact is that I am currently involved with some things that are going on in that district, and plus, two, I do not want to out them publicly. But to let parents know, first off, compulsory attendance is nothing new. Compulsory attendance was actually done back in the 1800s with the Native American population. Now, Native Americans were told that they had to go to school regardless of whether or not they wanted to or not. That was the first compulsory attendance. Also, back in the early 1700s, when the colonists in, I believe it was Massachusetts, had a compulsory attendance also because they wanted to make sure that their young people were educated enough not to be taken advantage of in the agricultural society that they had. But to go on with what I was talking about, compulsory attendance, as far as the law, the law is not very understandable, but if you take time to really look at the Texas Education Codes and read some of the information from the Texas Education Agency, you can understand this concept. First off, usually most people are sent to court over tardies. Now, tardies, according to the Texas State Attorney's opinion, which is DM200, and you can look that up on the Texas Attorney General's website, it was stated, and this is something that the TEA has also stated in 4 letters that were sent not only 2001, but also 2007, 2008, and then finally in 2012, that tardies are generally not accepted as school attendance violations. So if your child goes into class tardy, that is not counted as an absence. So if anyone tells you that a tardy is an absence, that's an absolute lie. I've seen this happen with court clerks that try to tell parents that a tardy is an absence, but that is not the case, according to the State Attorney General's office. Also, too, that's also with the Chief Counsel of the Texas Education Agency. As far as actual absences, now, if your child is absent without excuse, that means that they have to have a written note within 3 days of when the absence occurs. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that they must approve of. As long as there's a note given the explanation, they have to excuse the absence. There are other things that you don't need to write a note for, which has to do with the exclusions, but you can read that in the TEA law, and also too, most districts will tell you what is exempt and what is not. Look at the summons that you get very closely, because that'll tell you the court date, and make sure that you have enough time to do this. Go back to your district attendance officer and ask when they filed their complaint for noncompliance on attendance. Now, according to state law, and this is in some of the Texas Attorney General's opinions, and I will put links on here to all the information that I have on this, and hopefully this will help a lot of you parents out. But after the 10th absence, which is by state law, 10th absence, they must file a complaint within 10 days of the 10th absence. 10 days. And you're probably thinking, well, is that 10 actual days? No, it's actual 10 school days that they have. So if Johnny has 10th on a Thursday, they have 10 school days in order to file that particular complaint against Johnny. Anything over that 10 days, and I've seen this happen too. I've gone through this where they filed, like a month later or so. That complaint is invalid because it did not follow the letter of the law, and it must be dismissed. So parents, do not be suckered into thinking that your child is in trouble. And don't be suckered into the whole concept that this is not a criminal matter, that's a civil matter. When you have to go to jail and this thing stays on your record as a criminal offense, it is a criminal act. It is not a civil act. If this was a civil act, the state would sue you for the money that they are being missed out on, because when your child is going to school and they're not counted in with the attendance, the second and fifth periods of the school day, the state takes away money from that school district, and they no longer have those funds. This is the reason why we have compulsory attendance. It's not because we need to have our children educated. It's because of simply this, money. Without money, they cannot pay their teachers, they cannot pay their administrators, they cannot pay themselves. And thus, schools start to close. That's just a hard and simple fact. So, don't be suckered into this whole concept that you're at fault. Also, too, pay close attention to schools. Are they open campuses or are they closed campuses? Because, in essence, if they're closed campuses where the students cannot voluntarily leave school campus, then school pretty much is at fault too for this, for our students skipping or leaving school. Because once we turn them over to the school district becomes in locos parentis, which means that they become guardians of our children. Once they become guardians, they are responsible for our children. And if our children are not in class, we need to ask why the school is allowing our children to wander off campus, or why our children are wandering through the halls without supervision. I know the state has made it to where we are responsible for everything that happens in school, but this is just so they can lay blame on us rather than on themselves, and especially with schools. Schools do not want to have any type of responsibility whatsoever, because then it makes them liable for other offenses. But do not give up that right as parents. They are to work with us as full partners, and me as an owner of the school system, I ask of my management team what they are doing to correct the situation. So, that's what I have to say on compulsory school attendance. It is something that the state has done so that they can receive funds. It's not about educating our kids. If it was, we would not be in the position where we are almost I believe it's 24th in the world as far as education. I think we'd have top-notch education if we didn't have all this rhetoric and red tape and government bureaucracy. So, once again, make sure that you understand the law. Take time to read the Texas Education Codes, the Texas Administration Codes, and look up those particular items in the Texas Attorney General's opinions, so you get a better understanding and you can go armed to the teeth and talk with these administrators and hopefully keep yourself out of the criminal system, which criminalizes parents for being who they are, which is parents. And really, I mean, with parents that have to work now in this day and age, 2 incomes, this is really straining on the family system, and it's not really working for for our society. So thank you again. My name is Steven Fernandez with Parents United for Responsible Education Texas, and I'm also a parent and advocate for the education system, and I'm also an owner of the public school system. Thanks.